we need to at least wait until our participants arrive.
I think we should wait to 7:05, right?
I agree. That sounds good. Because everybody's watch is different and things happen. There's Cheryl coming.
She doesn't have a speaker again.
Oh, she joined us 5 times. I know we don't have 5 guests named Cheryl. That's unique. Huh. Sure. That's 6. Okay, 1 down. Okay. I was thinking, you guys, too, this once we get this practiced and down, we have this going and stuff. Maybe we could do this on a regular basis, or I don't know, once a month, once every other month, something like that, where people know it's coming, and then we could just talk about it, like every time we're out. Hey, by the way, once a month we have a,
I love
Cheryl, you're off mute, so maybe we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
There you go. I said, I know that's my Cheryl, but I haven't seen you since before COVID.
I know.
Wow.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time, right?
Yes.
We're going to give it to about 5 after. We're hoping some other folks join us. So we advertised all over the place, and you know how that goes.
I know.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
Now, are you in the market to buy a home or looking to in the future?
Looking to in the future, and just wanted to listen to all these experts, and as I'm building my credit back up. And
awesome. Oh, this is even great for that. You'll get to see some stuff that we do behind the scenes, and I'll share some more information with you, and this is going to be great.
Okay. I mean, it's not going to hurt my feelings if you guys are going to want to do this another time. I mean, I'm sure you expected more people than just showing up right now.
I'm going to check.
I wasn't going to say that.
No worries. I don't want to speak on everybody's behalf, but I'm okay.
Oh no, we're fine.
And the thing is, they're great. I want to say, like, we might do this again, sure. We might do it on a continuous basis. This will be like a great dress rehearsal, and you'll get all of our attention. And this will be
a great one-on-one.
I know, right?
You won't get this all the time as we build. People get to know we're doing this, and we build an audience and stuff. It'll be like, oh, I used to have them one-on-one, now I don't. Okay, checking to see if there's any messages in Facebook Messenger or anything like that.
That's true. Let's take a quick look.
Yeah, everybody check their. I'm going to go to mine. I'm going to go on Facebook. I have 5 Facebooks. Here we go. I got 2. Is anybody here for that? Let's see. Okay.
Okay, I say whenever you're ready, we can get started.
All right. If there's anybody, I'm going to watch the admit. So I'm going to admit anybody who joins us late.
Perfect.
Cheryl, you're going to get all of our attention tonight.
Yay.
This is good. Okay.
All right. Well, we're recording, so this is going to be great for anybody watching the replay. Feel free to email us with questions that you have. Cheryl, type your questions in the chat if you have them as they pop up, and we will definitely address those at the end. But I would just like to take this time to say thank you for joining us. We are super excited to bring you this webinar. We feel that given the state of the housing market and the interest rate market and the economy and everything like that, this is great information that everybody could utilize to really make the best decision, in their home buying process. So I am Alison Avayu. I'm with Lamakia Realty here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I'm going to kick off the presentation. I also have my co-host with me, Veronica Mora of Nexus Funding, my go-to lending genius. She's my lifesaver. Absolutely love working with her. And then we have the fabulous Tim Moffitt from Umbrella Credit Services, who is the master when it comes to all things credit related. So if you have credit questions, definitely reach out to Tim. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off and share my screen. Let's see here. Make sure I pick the right one. Hold on here. There we go. Okay. Got it. All right, so just a little bit of fun stuff about me, because I think it's always fun to share these types of things. I was actually born and raised in Kansas. I moved down here 14 years ago, so pretty much I'm a Floridian. I was born and bred to live on the beach. I am an avid lover of all things ocean related. We are actually going to the beach tomorrow because kids don't have school, so that's where you'll find me if I don't have anything else going on. I am married to a very creative former chef and a mother to two very active, crazy little boys. They keep me on my toes and very, very busy. I can be called a serial entrepreneur, if you will, and I'm a firm believer that every single person has the right to live life on their own terms, whatever that looks like, and especially when it comes to where they live. I was born and raised in Kansas. I never wanted to stay in Kansas, and everybody I knew stayed in Kansas, but I was like, why? I don't want to stay in Kansas, and so I packed up my stuff and moved down here. I am also extremely passionate about customer service, making sure that my clients, my customers, people who are working with me, even people that I just meet on the streets, that I answer their questions. Midwestern people, we love helping other people. We're very trustworthy and honest, and that's just kind of who I am. Firmly believe in integrity and honesty in all communication, and just answering people when they have questions and they call you or they text you. So one of the reasons I chose Lamakia Realty is because of the heart of the company. They are grounded in integrity and honesty, and number one, client, so customer service. That was the top thing that they talked about. And I really appreciate that, having been down here in South Florida for 14 years, and I've known a lot of realtors, and there wasn't a whole lot of integrity in all honesty. And so when I joined the real estate industry, I said, I want to align with a brokerage that has those same values. And that's how I found Lamakia. So just a little bit about me. All right. So again, Lamakia, we are truly, truly focused on your success and giving education, because a more educated buyer and seller are more successful buyers and sellers. So I'm going to be talking today a little bit about the buying process, what that looks like, and some tips and tricks, as well as the housing market, what's happening, what might happen in the future, because that's what everybody wants to know. So first things first, a lot of people don't really know the thing called like agency, buyer's agency, seller's agency, because for many, many years, there really was just the listing agent who was contractually obligated to help the seller. Well, back, I think, at the turn of the century, around the year 2000, we switched to a buyer's agency as well. And so now, as a buyer, you have the right to be represented, and you absolutely should be represented with an agent, because that agent is going to protect your financial best interests. They're going to make sure that they're showing you the properties that are available. They're going to disclose any information they find out about the property, and they're going to negotiate for you. None of that would a listing agent do for you. So whether it's me, whether it's another agent, make sure that you are represented in the deal. It is incredibly important. Another thing that I like to educate people on is the fact that the third-party sites like Zillow and Realtor and Trulia and YLoco and things like that, the websites that are out there, they're not, while they are syndicated with the MLS, meaning that what's on the MLS is going to show up on those sites, they're not 100% accurate all the time. There's sometimes a delay. Sometimes it can be 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes those other sites have homes that aren't even available. They have like pre-foreclosures where it's a home that maybe missed a payment and they've already listed it like it's going to be for sale in a foreclosure situation, but that's not true. So it can get really frustrating in your search when you're using those third-party sites, which is why at Lamakia, we have this program, the Buyer Advantage program, where you're going to get immediate access to the MLS, like priority access. As soon as things change or get listed, you're finding out about it. So again, this is something you're going to want a tool in your tool belt when you're going to buy a home. Another thing that can be really helpful are off-market listings, especially in a tight inventory market like we're in right now. These can be really beneficial because you might be able to work out a deal before a home ever even hits the market. So just something I like to share with my clients, and this is a proprietary program that we do have at Lamakia. Real quickly, Veronica's going to dive a little bit more into the mortgage things, obviously, but I just like to give people a timeline when they're thinking about buying a home. I have lenders like Veronica that can close in as quick as 14 days if all the conditions are right. And then sometimes we need 45, 60 days. So on average, it's 30 to 45 days for closing from the time you get a contract accepted. And then as your buyer's agent, I'm there every step of the way, guiding you, helping you, making sure that, we're getting information on inspections, finding out about the appraisal, doing anything that needs done in the time being, helping you gather those documents to get to your lender, all those things from A to Z. One of the other things that I do like to talk about with regards to the contract is make sure that you're working with an agent that is working with the different contingencies and strategies to make sure that your offer is going to stand out. We've been in years now of multiple offer situations where buyers are getting beat out, and it can get really, really frustrating. So you want to make sure that you're talking with your agent to figure out, okay, how quickly can we do an inspection period? Talk to your lender. How soon can we get loan approval? What are some ways that we can make our offer stand out? What are some different things that we can do in the contingencies to make sure that our offer gets accepted? All right, so now on to the fun stuff that everybody wants to talk about, the housing market. What's going on and what can we expect? Well, you can see here the purple line indicates the homes listed monthly. So this has been really exciting because August went up. You can see that little upward trend in August. We're expecting September to be around the same number. As you can see, inventory their homes listed tend to fall at the end of the year, obviously, but then they pick right back up in January. So we're still well below the average of the last few years. So it is a little frustrating, but that's why you want to make sure that you have access to the MLS from a good agent that can make sure that you're seeing homes right away that match what you're looking for. Another little update we have here is the active inventory, which you can see is still extremely low. And we're anticipating that it's going to stay that way for a while. So hold on tight. The market's not going to crash. You can see that compared to, I think the green, I don't have it on here, the green and the orange color at the top, those were 2020 and 2019. So we're nowhere near those numbers as far as active inventory, meaning there's not enough homes for people. So that means the home prices are not going to crash. They might drop a little bit, but they can't crash because there's just not enough inventory. We need massive amounts of inventory for that to happen. Here's the average selling price for single family homes. You can see that it is a slight downward trend, which is good news. You're not going to see it down to that green level of 2019, but it is slightly going down and we anticipate it should level off. You'll see in some situations where the stats are showing like a 1 to 2% price increase year to year. And that's kind of what we're expecting for the next year as well. And these are the condo prices, condo townhomes. This is going to be a trickier market given everything that we have going on with the condo regulations, the 40-year structural certifications, all the assessments being done. So the condo market is going to be a little more volatile over the next few years. So make sure you're speaking to an agent who understands what's going on with condos and can protect your best interests with that. So those are all the housing markets that I have for you. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Veronica so she can talk all things interest rates and loans and what sort of financing options you have. So go ahead and take it away, Veronica.
Awesome. Thank you, Allison. 1 second. Why? I can't get to it to do.
You look good. That's it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's not having a little 1 second. 1 second. Let me just. Oh no, wait. Apologize. I can't get in.
It always works in practice mode and never in real life, right?
Yeah.
That's
'Cause I
okay.
can't. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm here now. All right. Good evening. My name is Veronica Mora, and I'm with Nexus Funding Solutions. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you, Allison, so much for all that information. A little bit about me. I was born in New York, but I've been a Floridian for 32 years now, and I'm a huge Miami Dolphins fan. I'm a mother of three, and most and most recently, a proud grandmother of an amazing little boy. I've been in the finance industry for over 22 years. And I began my career in the mortgage sector. So full circle back to where I started. In between that time, I spent about 15 years in banking. I held several roles from licensed investment banker to financial center manager. I was an acquisition manager where I coached and strategized over 50 financial center managers on their acquisition program. And also I was a commercial banker. However, 4 years ago, I co-founded Nexus Funding Solutions with my husband of 25 years. He has similar background, career background, and we were both in banking, and we wanted to really change how we impact our community. We wanted to have more options for people, and what we're brokers, and what brokers do is that we have access to a very diverse and large number of lenders to fit your particular financial picture. Banking, certain banks like the big banks, they only have a very minimal amount of programs, and if you don't fit into that box, then you're not a right fit for them. So we are much happier now that we're able to provide many more solutions to our community. So enough about me, and let's get to why you came here today. So the state of the market, interest rates are at a 20-year high. I've been a homeowner for 25 years, and my interest rate was about 8%, what it is almost today. But the good news is later on in the presentation, I'm going to tell you how to buy a house with not paying today's interest rate. So stay tuned to that. The last meeting that the Feds had, they did not increase interest rates, which that was a good thing. They just wanted to put a pause on it. However, they will be meeting again soon, and we might see maybe 1 or 2 more interest rate hikes until they get to the inflation goal of 2%. As you can see on the screen, we're at 4.1% today. Prime rate is at 8.5%. That is the prime rate is reflective of your credit cards, your auto loans. Mortgage rates are really linked to the bond market, and today's mortgage rates were about 7.91. So we're inching up. We've inched up close to the 8%, but there are still ways that you can buy a house today. What I like to tell people is, if you can afford the payment, that's really where you should, really look into, and that's really what you should be focused more on, is if you could afford the payment. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Experts are saying, though, by end of next year, we've recovered so quickly with inflation that we're hoping that we should be back to about 6, maybe even 5% interest rates. So that's the good news there. Rent over the last several years has increased 15 to 20%.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah. And, the beautiful thing about having a mortgage is that you're locking in your payment. So, and if anything, you can lower your payment by refinancing, but it will never go up. So I know Allison spoke about the inventory and the trends there on different, different types of houses. But this slide shows you that here in Florida, our home prices went up year over year. From September of 2022 to September of 2023, our home prices increased 2.7% in the highest rate environment in 20 years. So if experts are right and rates go back down, what do you think that's going to mean? People are going to start moving properties. People are going to start moving. They're going to start putting their house for sale. They're going to start buying. So everyone's paused a little bit because of the interest rates being high. But even in that type of rate environment, we saw a growth. And so why is that important? So the reason why you shouldn't, if you're thinking of becoming a homeowner, not put it on pause is because this time next year, you would have missed out on that growth. And that growth is equity. So on average, on a $300,000 house, 2.7%, that's $8,000 that you just earned by having that home. And so, and then the next year is going to be another $8,000 at a minimum. However, once the rates do go down, prices will start increasing again. So you might be earning even more. And so why is equity so important? And I'll show you why. Equity, for those folks that are homeowners, on average, their net worth is $300,000 versus a renter is only $8,000. That is, if you're strategizing towards retirement, as you can see, it makes a huge impact in your full financial picture. So let's talk a little bit about programs. We have our first-time home buyers program. What is first-time home buyers? I get that asked all the time. Well, first-time home buyer is someone that hasn't owned a home in 3 years. So that's right. If you owned a home 10 years ago and sold it 5 years ago, and you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years, you are now a first-time home buyer again. What is the benefit of a first-time home buyers program? It gives you a minimum, less of a down payment, so you could put as little as 3.5% down, and they accept lower credit scores. But Tim is going to show you how to maximize on your credit score tonight. So I'll be turning it over to him shortly. We also have our Hometown Heroes program. Here in Florida, we're very unique to other states that we developed a program to benefit those who work for a Florida-based company. Right now, the funds in that program are on hold. However, keep an eye out on that program because they do assist up to $35,000 in down payment assistance. We also have other down payment assistance programs. So again, we have a wide variety of different programs to meet your financial picture. We have conventional loans with minimum 5% down. And most recently, the conventional loan product, if you ever thought about buying an investment property and living maybe in one side and renting out the other side, well, now the conventional loan product just lowered that down payment requirement from 15 to 20% to 5%. So now with only 5%, you could buy a multifamily, live in one side as your primary residence and rent out the other side, other two sides. They recently also increased the loan limit to $750,000. So with that loan limit, you can now buy, that's a good amount of money for you to buy a multifamily. And what we do is we take the income from the other side and help you to qualify for that particular loan. We also have jumbo loans. We also have one of my favorite programs for self-employed borrowers is our bank statement program, where if you've been a self-employed and you have a lot of expenses, that brings down your net profit, your net income, and because of your expenses, we can utilize your bank statements. You don't have to provide tax returns. We review your bank statements and we take all the deposits from your bank statements and utilize those deposits to qualify you as income. We have investor programs where we don't collect any income documentation. The property qualifies for itself by us doing some market rental analysis. Those are awesome products as well. We're in South Florida here and in Florida in general, and we have some amazing foreign national programs as well as private loans with private investors. Okay, so remember I told you I was going to tell you how to buy a home today without paying today's prices, today's interest rate. So here's a slide that shows you on a 500. So there's a program that was rolled out last year called the 2-1 buy down. And what that is that you do qualify, you have to qualify for today's rate, which in this example is 7.75. However, what this program allows you to do is to pay a lower interest rate. So 2% lower the first year and 1% lower the second year in order for you to save. And then on the third year, you pay the note price that you qualified for, the note rate. So the preface behind it is that in this particular scenario, you can see that in year one, you're saving $630 in year one a month. Okay. Year two, you're saving $322 a month. And then in year three, you are going to pay the note price. However, because what experts are saying that the interest rates are going to drop by year 2 and 3, you can refinance at that point. So how does this done? You have to work closely with your realtor. So like Allison, and Allison will work with the seller. And in this particular scenario, the seller will pay a credit of $11,000. So you would make your offer with the seller paying $11,000 for your 2-1 buy down. It's very popular right now. Sellers are being educated by realtors to accept these offers because of the low inventory and not many people being able to, afford today's payments because of the interest rates being high. So the good news is that let's say you want to refinance next year. That $11,000, whatever hasn't been used, that money is yours. And that the remaining money of what's left, even if, like, let's say at the end of next year you refinance, they're going to subtract it from your payoff when you go and refinance. So it's an excellent program to pay 2% lower this year, and you're locking in today's prices, which is, historically has been has earned you equity year over year. So this is one of the programs that we're doing all day, every day as lenders, and getting more people into homes when our interest rates are so high. So an excellent program. So with that said, one of the most important components in getting a loan is your credit. And so I am going to turn it over to my friend Tim. Credit is near and dear to my heart. I spent some time educating executives in my past life on money management, and credit is everything and plays a huge role in getting the best terms, getting the best interest rates. And so I'm not going to steal his thunder anymore, but I'm going to turn it over to my friend Tim. Tim, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me share my screen here. So I can, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Wow. Perfect. Okay, Cheryl, you've heard the best of the best, the first two people that spoke. And I was thinking about how this all ties together. So let's say you wanted to go shopping for a home and you decided you wanted to be represented by Allison. She's going to ask for a pre-approval letter, more than likely, right? So she can use that in the bidding process. So to get a pre-approval letter, you got to go to Veronica. Veronica is going to require that you have pretty decent credit to do that. So in order to do that, you got to come to me. So it's all three of us. It's me, them, and one after the other. It's like a domino effect. So it all starts with the credit. And you know better than anybody, you and I have been working on this, and you've been amazing with this. I'm glad that you're here this evening. With that being said, you're going to hear a lot about me and more about me and my company than you didn't know before. So as you know, I'm the founder and co-owner of Umbrella Credit Services. And you're probably thinking, why should I listen to this guy? You know me, Cheryl, but most people don't. So I tell them, okay, here's 5 good reasons, right? I'm an Ohio transplant. Like Allison said, I'm from the Midwest. We are caring, nice people. We say hello on the street.
I know, right?
Right? Not everybody does. I'm an Oakland Park resident, so I'm local. I'm in Toastmasters, and this year I have the honor of being an area director for Division B Area 21. I'm in the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce, Wilton Manors Business Association, Oakland Park Business Association, and the New River Business Exchange. So we're all over the city. And this is the biggest factor why you want to listen. I'm a country western line dancer, and I two-step. So
that's something I didn't know.
Yes, and Cheryl, I competed, but we'll talk about that at another time. So with that,
Well,
I actually have
boots and a cowboy hat, so I'm ready.
I've got mine. I've got several pairs of boots and cowboy hats ready to go. I do have professional experience behind all this. I actually was a banker for 24 and a half years, but I put 20 plus because that doesn't look as old. 25 years in banking, basically. I was a retail banking center manager where you walked into the branch and got a loan, but also I was a mortgage loan officer. I did pretty much what Veronica does. You know, I did FHA, VA, conventional mortgages. Also, not on the slide, I was the chair of the Affordable Housing Committee in the city of Columbus, Ohio. And what I did was I did first-time homebuyer training seminars to teach people how to build their credit scores up in order to qualify for that down payment assistance. So this has taken me back to those days and my favorite part of my job. It is on there. It's on the bottom there. Yeah, I didn't tell you I was the chair of the Affordable Housing Committee. So that is my background in banking. In my education, I went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. And there was an argument I heard not too long ago about the real Miami University. University of Miami, Miami University, they're all good. We were around since 1909 or 1809. They've been around since 1925, so we're a little bit older. Certificates of achievement, you can see some of the ones I've gotten there. And I'm working on the last one, my board certified credit consultant. That's a hard test to study for. Something I like to say, and I think Allison talked about this too when it comes to ethics and standards. We are a full service credit consulting firm, a team of ethical credit professionals with the standards of excellence. My team, there's myself, my business partner, and we have 2 assistants as well. So we do hold those standards of excellence. Our mission is to help individuals and businesses build, restore, and protect their credit. And we customize programs specifically for their needs. And our core values, honesty, integrity, and doing what's right for the customer. That's the most important part of what we do. This is a copy of our homepage on our website. And I put this on here specifically so you can see that the Better Business Bureau gives us an A+ rating. TheExpertise.com rated us, this is the 2nd year in a row, as one of the best credit repair companies in Fort Lauderdale. And we're also a proud member of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce. And the Certificate of Excellence by Locate Near Me, they elect us as well. And you can see anybody is entitled to a free credit consultation, in-depth credit analysis, and credit recommendations. So now that you know who we are, let's see how we can help you. And this is a picture of me and my business partner at the Oakland Park Business Association Business Expo earlier this year. And I love that we can be outside and be in that environment, and just a wonderful event. I also wanted to point out on our banner there, you can see what we do help with: late payments, judgments, bankruptcies, collections, settlements, foreclosures, inquiries, repossessions, liens, and charge-offs. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we get that done. So how does credit affect you? Wow, many, many ways. And here's just a few. Employment. I'll tell you, when I was in banking, Veronica can attest to that. They pull my credit, right, to work in a bank. Insurance, your car insurance rates are based on your credit scores. Crazy, right? But it's a fact. Financing. You're either going to pay higher interest rates because you don't have a good credit score, or you're going to get denied altogether.
You muted yourself.
Something happened where I hit the wrong button. I couldn't get to the next screen. So I was like, thank you. So how do credit scores work, right? These are the credit score ranges: 300 all the way up to 850. And you can see the categories there. I believe, and Veronica had mentioned this, I mean, you can get a credit score probably even if you're in the fair category, right? But remember, the better the credit score, the less risk to the bank and the better your interest rate. So you want to get as high as you possibly can get. And I'm probably muting myself again. No, I didn't. Okay. My advanced button's not working, so I got to do this manually. Here we go. So the credit score components, we're going to go over these a little bit in detail. There's 5 of them. You can see them right there. The first one and the biggest one is payment history, right? If you miss one payment on anything, 30 days or more, this can really have a huge impact on your credit score. If you have only a few items on your credit report and one of those goes 30 days late, your score can tank 60, 70, 80 points from 130-day late. And if you do nothing, it takes up to 2 years for your score to bounce back up to what it was before that hit. A 60-day and a 90-day late are even worse. You want to keep that in mind. Revolving debt ratio. This is where they figure out the credit balance versus your credit limit, right? So imagine a bank looking at you. If you have a low balance on your credit card and you have a lot of available credit, you're going to score high in that category. Rule of thumb, keep all your balances on your credit cards at 30% of your credit limit or below. As you approach that limit, and this, I kind of get frustrated about this. We give you the credit limit. Why give me the credit limit and I spend it and I pay all my payments on time, but now you're penalizing me because I've used it, right? It's just a red flag to lenders. They like to see it when it's lower. So you want to keep that in mind. That's 130 your score. You could have a perfect payment history, never ever miss a payment on anything, but if you're maxed out on your credit cards, you could be in the 500s. That's how important that is. The next one people forget, average age of credit file. So what they do, Cheryl, is they take all your open accounts, right? And they average the age of how long they've been open. And then that's 15% of your credit score. What people forget is every time you open a new account, that brings down the average of all of your open accounts. So that category prevents a lot of people from having that perfect credit score. A lot of people will do opening a new card to transfer a balance, and they keep doing it one after the other. Well, if you're closing out all your old accounts, which have a big, long period of time in the bureau, and you got all these new credit accounts, you're going to score really low in that category. Mix of credit, people forget this as well. Ideally, you want to have 3 to 5 major credit cards, an installment loan, and once you get a mortgage, your score boosts way up. So that's the ideal credit mix. Some people are heavily weighted in one category, all credit cards and nothing else. You're going to score low in this category. And then finally, the inquiries. People hear about this all the time. When you pull my credit, it's going to hurt my score. When you pull my credit. Well, here's the rule of thumb with credit inquiries. They're going to stay on your credit report for 2 years, right? But they're only going to affect your score for the last 12 months. So anything over 12 months old doesn't affect your score. And when you go shopping for a mortgage and you shop for a car and all those people pull your credit in 1 day or 2 days, you might have shopped for a car and seen 10 credit pulls on the same day for shopping for a car. That counts as 1 credit pull. The bureaus give you that because you're allowed to shop as a consumer. They're not going to penalize you for shopping around. So that's good. So keep that in mind. And that's only 10% of your score. Now, here's some tips to boost your credit score. And I forgot to mention, sure, if you want to take pictures of this, or if you need anything later, you let me know because you know where to find me. But pay your bills on time. That's huge. Pay all your credit cards and then your revolving debt down to 30% of the available credit line. This is a cool one too. Ask for a higher credit limit and don't spend it, right? Yeah. So if you have that higher credit limit and it goes higher and you didn't spend it, then you become a lower risk to a bank and you're going to get a higher credit score for that. Become an authorized user. If you're trying to establish credit, right, and you've got a husband, wife, a relative that's got a really good credit rating and they got a credit card that maybe has a low balance and it's been open for a long period of time, ask to be added as an authorized user. You'll get the benefit of that on your credit. Don't close any of your old accounts, okay, especially any old credit cards, because when you do, then you've taken away that available credit in that 30% category, you're going to score lower. One of the things I would remember that I do, and maybe share with you, is I've got a lot of credit cards that I don't use. So I try to watch them, and maybe like once every 2 or 3 months, I'll go buy gas on a credit card I haven't used, just so it doesn't close. They don't tell you, Cheryl, but what happens is if you don't use it for a long period of time, they close it It'll show on the credit report as closed by credit grantor, and your score goes down.
Yep.
So we don't want. Avoid applying for new credit. We talked about that. Have at least 3 revolving credit lines. We talked about that as well. And 1 active or paid installment loan. And then here's another thing they just started, and we have a company we work with. Add your rent and your utility bills to your credit report. You've heard of Experian Boost. They advertise it all over the internet and all over TV. That's another way to do that. Very effective. So you're asking, who are we? What do we charge? And how does this work? And you already know this. So we only charge 1 fee. We have 1 product. It's the same for everybody. We don't have different tiers, right? Everybody gets the same level of service at the same price. If we send 3 letters a month or 300 letters a month, that's what your fee is going to be. I hope we don't send 300, but that would be pretty bad. But we send a lot of letters per month, not 300. We have a low fee of $97 a month. There's a $197 initial setup. We don't charge an hourly fee. We charge you less than you would pay for a few hours with an attorney. And by the way, we have an attorney on staff we work with. So you do have the privilege of having that should we ever need to send letters of representation, right? If you need to hire an attorney, you're being sued, that's a different story. But we actually have an attorney, accredited attorney who helps us with our cases. We don't stick with any hidden fees. We'll be there for you every step of the way. Our clients are assigned to their own credit specialist who they have access to via email, text, or cell. And Cheryl proved that this evening by texting me as we were talking on the phone or on this call. We genuinely care about our clients and want them to get the credit they deserve for the life they desire. That's our mantra. That's our saying. That it's on the side of my car, actually, if you ever see me driving through town. And then the average time spent in the program is about 6 months. Again, it depends. We've got clients with us a year. They may have 20 or 30 derogatories on their credit, right? They're coming out of a bankruptcy. There's a lot of stuff not correct on there. It all depends. And also, you're required to have credit monitoring. We have a company called Identity IQ, which they charge $21.99 a month. And if you look online, that's actually $29.99 a month, but we get a discount 30% through us. We also use, I think Cheryl might have Credit Hero Score. That's another company we use, which is $19.95 a month. But those are important because anybody, even if you have perfect credit, you want to have credit monitoring so that you know if something changes on your credit. We're not your typical credit repair company. I love saying this. We focus on education, my favorite part. Tonight, this is awesome. I could do this all night. I love this. This is my favorite part. I wish I had a live audience on a stage, and that will happen one day. Right, ladies? We're going to do that somewhere on the stage. All right, assisted credit rebuilding. We do that as well. And we do have a 100% money back guarantee. I think one time in the last 6 years, we did this for somebody, and it was a unique situation. So this really never, ever happens. Also, we have a customized program. One size does not fit all. I love that picture. I say that's me and my business partner. And we do provide solutions. So we want to be able to help you improve your credit score. You can call us today. There's our phone number, and there is our information. And that, I want to ask if there's any questions. But before I do that, I also want to just open it up in general so that, Cheryl, there's all of our information. If you want to take a picture or however you want, we can get that information to you. And any questions you have for any of us, we're all here. Everybody can unmic. I'm going to take myself off of sharing now so we can see each other. And thank you for the time of allowing me to do this. And especially Veronica and Alison, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this with you. And this was
Absolutely.
our dress rehearsal, Cheryl. Thank you for letting us have our dress rehearsal with you. We appreciate
Yeah, thank you. It was very informative. I don't have any questions initially, but I did learn a lot. So
Good.
I'm going to keep everything, all the notes that I took, and reach out to you guys when I'm ready. I'm not at the point yet, but I'm going to keep in mind what you said, Veronica, about watching those dips and turns and making sure that I get everything in. And I'm just working on my credit right now. Tim has been amazing helping me do that and bring it back up to where it needs to be. And, it's never too late. I took care of my family, my mom and my dad back in Georgia. I've been here 16 years, maybe longer. When Wilma came, she was my welcome party. I was here 1 week when Wilma hit.
No.
Wow.
You didn't go back to Georgia?
Yep, from Georgia. I am from Georgia. And I have one daughter here with me, and I have one daughter up in Georgia. My oldest daughter just bought her first house up in Georgia with her husband. And she did the same thing. She built her credit back up, paid her student loans off, did everything in a couple of years, and they were able to buy a house. So,
Have you ever
Awesome.
owned a home, Cheryl? Are you
just
first
little
time home?
steps. I'm sorry.
Have you ever owned a home ever, or would you be a true first
I
time home?
did in Georgia. I had a home. We sold it and we moved down here.
Nice.
So I do know the value of it. And of course, when rent went sky high, it was just nuts. So
Mhm.
I didn't have any credit for a while, just taking care of everything, kind of going day to day. One thing led to another, so nothing so super bad, but never really built anything. So now I'm focused on building it, making it better, taking those steps, getting myself back into a home. My
You were
home.
taking-
Absolutely. What you? Go ahead. Oh,
You were taking care of everybody else. Like now's the time to take care of you, and
Exactly.
right. So we're fine. Go ahead, Veronica. You were going to say something.
no, Cheryl, if you just wanted to check in with me at any time and say, like, this is where I stand now. What do I need to do to keep, where do I need to be? I'll be more than happy. You don't have to be ready right now. I can do like a free consultation and just say, you tell me how much you make and where your credit score is now. And I'll say, okay, well, here's where you are now. And this is where you need to be. And sometimes that helps with the goal setting, and sometimes you could get there faster, or it might take a little bit more time depending. So, but
Okay.
I just wanted to open that up to you that I'm here if
I
you wanted to
appreciate
do that.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to put
Yeah,
your-
it might surprise you. I've talked to a few people who they're like, and I've told them, I was like, listen, you're renting, what's your rent? And then I'm like, okay, well, talk to Veronica because you might be surprised at what you actually qualify for. And it's always amazing when they're like, oh my God, I had no idea. Like,
I
yeah.
know, that's always fun. Okay, that's what I'm looking forward to. That's why I joined tonight, because I thought there might be some things out here that I was unaware of, and there were. And so I will, and I love the fact that, the integrity. I've known Tim for a while through Golden Manors Business Association. I was in Kiwanis Club from the time I moved down here. That's how we met. And when I saw he had a credit program, I just latched right on that because I knew he had a level of integrity, and I knew I could trust him with my personal matters. So
He's
So
the
now I can
best.
trust you
For
ladies.
sure.
Is it okay,
Okay.
Cheryl, if I give them your information, your email, and they can send you information?
yes, of course.
Wonderful.
Not a problem. I'd love that. I
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to say
Thank you.
goodnight.
Yeah. Thanks for
Have a
joining us,
great
So
Cheryl.
much.
Right.
Thank you for
Thank you.
the time this evening, Cheryl. We appreciate you.
And my dog Niles says hello.
Oh, hey, Niles.
Yeah, so cute.
Awesome.
I said it's time to go, and he got up off the bed. He's ready for a walk. All right, well, you guys take care. Thank you so much.
You too. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Can we stop recording? Let's see, where's my stop recording button? Second.
So interesting, right? Because we sent out so many invitations. How about I think that if we started earlier and then did more, I think that we really just, I don't think we advertised it. Well, I didn't, definitely. I mean, I did a few
You need,
last
like, what, 2
week.
weeks?
Mhm.
What
Like,
if
hit it hard and send out like a few reminders, and then the day before and the day of, I guess people spam a little bit when it's like an event, like, and it's going
Yeah.
to start within the hour. I thought about that, and then I was like, let me see how it goes without doing that, because I figured we would do it again.
While you were talking, Allison, as soon as it started, I went onto Facebook and I posted it again. I said, come join us now. I was hoping somebody would see it.
Yeah.
You know,
Same.
come in.
Okay.
If you figure out, like, when you get the file, if you want to Google Drive, like, drop it to me or however, because it's going to be a huge ass file.
I'm trying to stop it. I'm trying to stop recording. I can't see where I do that.
I was just going to say, I can have a hour. So it's just a presentation.